What are you on if you say no?
Oh,
I think
nice.
he's worth more. He's a king.
We're starting negotiations. I'm doing business. You're playing hardball with me. We're going to do a little negotiating.
Yeah.
Okay, I will message him back.
I love that he said you need me more than I do.
That's so
awesome.
fucking funny.
He's right.
He doesn't even know like what he's calling into or what it is. It could just be like,
And I've been having to talk to this guy.
What's gonna happen? He's gonna get canceled in fucking whatever region he lives in.
no,
Right.
it's just funny. For all he knows, it could just be like some like 2 listener like.
Look at this
personal podcast.
this message. Show your sincerity and say how much you can pay. We are no short of traffic. We don't need you to help us. We need you to bring quotation. And then he said a Pepe emoji.
He said Pepe.
No.
Yo, that's fire. What kind of Pepe emoji?
It was like the half-ass smile, and it's
The smirk.
yeah, the smirk, where it's like fingers like right.
Wow.
So here, offer him 1,000 yuan. How much is that? 1,000
1,000 yuan is
USD.
You want to know? You want to know?
140 bucks.
140
Okay,
bucks.
I'll say it. You want to know the truth?
Yeah.
Yilong Ma is the reason why Elon bought Twitter, so we could finally destroy. Like it's like Highlander, right? Like he's the real. Elon Ma is the real one, and Elon is the fake one, and he is working actively to destroy him, and that's why he's like going hard after impersonators.
It could be. I mean,
Yeah, that's why you got banned because
Nah.
of Yilong Ma.
Yilong Ma.
Yeah.
Money. By the way, Black Friday sales up. Thank you, Teddy, for we got to
segue.
We need to make some money so we can pay
Yeah, I was
Yilong
gonna
Ma. I'm about
They're going to
to.
the Yilong Ma fund.
I'm about to shill out 1,000 yuan. All right, let's talk. Let's talk shop.
Yeah.
We only have an hour left, though.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
So first of all, the one thing I noticed that I want to get your take on, and I love this, it's so refreshing and it's so nice. Very, very, very little talk about rigged elections.
Yeah.
And that's so nice because, you know, that's kind of the expectation these days.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. What's your take on that?
I think one of the things that happened is Pennsylvania started immediately tabulating early votes, like the mail-in ballots, like the day of, which they originally stated they were not going to do, which was going to create what is known as the red mirage, right? And we were gearing up for that. The media was gearing up for that. Everyone was like, listen, we need to communicate this to you. Like, even the Republicans actually engaged in this on the other side, where they were like, yeah, it's going to be real strange when the Republicans are winning at night and then the tide turns around. If that happens, like, remember, there's cheating. And that didn't happen. It was a back and forth. It was neck and neck in many races. And by the end of the night, it looked like Democrats were winning in a lot of places where they were not. A lot of places that were supposed to be contested. So for that reason, they tried it a little bit in Arizona and Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, they ran out of paper. And in Arizona,
How the fuck you run out of paper?
I don't know.
That's some dumb shit.
But in Arizona,
No more ballots, people. Go home.
in Arizona, in Maricopa County, there were some issues with one of the processors that was just spitting out 75% of the ballots back, only reading 25%. So they were like, please use ballot drop-off box number 3. And then because these guys are, especially in Arizona, the conservatives are so geared, they made it like a fundamental plank of their campaigning that the elections were stolen because of these inconsistencies and stuff like that, even though there were no inconsistencies. A lot of these guys were terrified and they cooked themselves. They ended up hurting themselves. It ended up working as voter suppression for their own base of voters.
Yeah.
It literally backfired in a dramatic way. So other than those 2 instances, we haven't really heard too much. Nevada is still going to probably be an issue. There's going to be, there's always problems with Nevada in tabulation and whatnot. It takes a long time. Same with Arizona. It's just a lot of these like desert country. They just don't know how to count. The heat just, wrecks people's brains, I think.
Yeah.
They just have a really hard time with counting. So we'll see what happens there. But overall, I think it was because they were ready for a massive wipeout, which is understandable.
So, but wouldn't they want to scream foul play since they didn't get what they wanted? But I think what you're saying, there was less red mirage, which is kind of gives them the optics.
Yeah. There was less red mirage, And right now, they are too busy trying to comprehend exactly how this gigantic fuck-up happened. The Republican Party looking to pick up 60 seats in the House, barely winning the majority. We don't even know.
They may not even. I was hearing
which
today.
is insane.
Did
Like,
you hear
might
that,
come
Dan?
down
They
to
might not
Lauren
even get
Boebert.
the House. There's like a chance.
Yeah, I think most of the predictions are still leaning Republican, right? But it's not.
It's not even a
It's not
sure
impossible
thing.
for
Isn't
them
that
to fall
crazy?
short. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it's not just crazy because Republicans are really doing well or whatever. This is historic. And the reason why it's historic is, if I put my wonk hat on for a second, every single time there's a president that is like below 50% approval rating, in the midterms he's going to get shafted. His party is going to get shafted. Americans use the midterms, the ones that actually end up going out and voting in the midterms, use it as an opportunity to say, we don't like what you're doing. And if your performance indicates that people are not too happy with it, as Joe Biden's performance and his approval rating after it boosted a little bit was still resembling the Donald Trump approval rating in the 2018 midterms, you're slated to lose 60 plus seats. That's normal.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, there's 8% inflation. Cost of living is a crisis. A lot of people are losing their minds over it in an understandable fashion.
Side note.
The economy's looking bad. Impossible. It looked like an impossible win for any president. Doesn't matter if it was Joe Biden. Doesn't matter if it was Donald Trump. Doesn't matter if it was Barack Obama. Any president in that circumstance, regardless of how many great things they may or may not have done, they're going to get destroyed.
Apparently, it was the best turnout for an incumbent president in decades.
Yeah.
So I think it's encouraging. I hope that we see less of this rigged election shit, which is just scary and fucked up. And I think I'm proud of Americans because they rejected that. And what's funny is we learned that the strategy is actually self-defeating because your fucking fans lose faith in the institution or your, voters, and then they don't end up fucking voting.
Even if they don't lose faith in the institution, if your goal is to get everybody to vote on the day of, well, you're advocating for voter suppression for your own fan base because, like, ultimately, it's significantly easier to vote and drop off your, mailed-in ballot.
When voting is easier, more people vote.
Yes.
Period.
Absolutely. Which is something that the Republicans truly understand. That's precisely why, for a very long time, they were against mail-in voting. That's why Donald Trump was against it. And I think that the COVID-era amenities, weird to consider that an amenity, it's just like something that should happen anyway, was truly beneficial for, the democratization process, if we want to call it that. More people voting, more people participating in elections. I think that was a big component. Obviously, the fact that they overstepped their boundaries on abortion.
Yeah.
That backfired on them in a dramatic way, in an understandable way. Any state where, like, abortion was on the ballot, like Michigan,
annihilated.
Wipeouts.
Yeah.
Why? They knew that this was going to happen. They knew this because they knew it was happening in Kansas. It happened in Kansas before in the midterms. It happened in Kansas. So the Republican Party was desperately trying to get the constitutional, like, abortion protections off of every ballot they possibly could, but they failed in Michigan, and that drew a lot of people to go out and vote.
Right.
Because people are going to vote for something. Ultimately.
It's so nice, honestly. I was expecting to just get annihilated, to lose House and Senate, and just live in another fucking dark age, But
well,
it's
we're
not
still
what
in the
happened.
dark ages. We're not out of it.
It's encouraging, though. It is nice to see actually some good news coming out of this, and people also rejected